Okay, so I'd like to.
All right. Thank you very much, April, for that very enlightening presentation. First of all, while we'd like to encourage everyone to ask their questions through our facility in the lower right corner of your screen. I think we have a couple, but before we start, April, I'd like to ask you my question. We've been getting this a lot from our social media channels as well as through emails that if the PSE already knows that there's a lot of fear in the market, why not just suspend trading?
Uh, well, we actually did suspend trading, and unfortunately, the market did not take that favorably. I think to a certain extent, people still want the liquidity, 'di ba? Actually,
Mhm.
one of the reasons nga bakit medyo binibentahan yung market natin is because it's not as liquid as the other markets. Now, if you take that liquidity angle, baka mas lalo pang ibenta ng mga tao. So, maybe that's not a good idea right now. Although, minsan, parang mabuti pa nga para hindi kayo mag-panic, sara muna natin. Then we'll just open it when the number of cases actually peak, di ba?
Oo, that's right. Okay, so we have a question from one of our attendees here now. For April, from now until the Golden Cross or the end of July, what can we expect from the market? Parang
I
un-
think
until matapos to.
right now, if we go back to the first slide, I'm sure you will share it naman, Ede, di ba?
Yeah.
You will see how I think the market, the, makita mo yung acceleration ng pagbagsak. Di ba initially, nung nagkaroon tayo nung COVID-19, which was when China first said that they had it and then they did their quarantine, hindi naman masyado mababa yung market eh. And the reason why the market is going down right now is because the US continues to go down. Okay, yun yung problem eh. So I think we will take our lead from the US, and as long as the US continues to go down, we can continue to go down. So there is a chance that the market will continue to fall. I think the probably people want to see first a peaking of the number of cases globally. Maybe if we already see that, medyo may alleviation of fears. And secondly, the central banks are successfully addressing these liquidity problems. I think probably those two things are important because right now it seems like hindi pa tapos yun eh. So medyo wait lang tayo. Hindi namin alam. Actually si Boss Edward, kausap ko nga last week. Ang sabi nga niyang famous quote niya, kung alam ko lang mayaman na ako. Kasi hindi natin talaga alam kung um, when we'll hit the low. But I think we'll have a webinar with Juan is here and he will help us naman technically to show formations which indicate a market low. And I think that would be very helpful for our viewers today. Um, to have some idea. But that said, even the technical indicators will not allow you to buy the ultimate low. It will at least show you that okay, it's now safe to come back in if you are a trader, 'di ba? It's more of that rather than, indicating that this is the ultimate low because nobody knows, 'di ba?
Hmm. Okay. All right. So I think there are a lot of people asking about the possibility of averaging down, and there's one specific question here, April, about Jollibee Foods. Is it okay though, but to average down in such a company? From
Oh
Jasmine of
yeah, yeah.
BGC.
Yeah, definitely. I think averaging down is a good strategy right now. Kasi I think against ako sa averaging down. If you know that the company has a long-term problem, let's say, isang kumpanya parang poor management, natatalo sa competition, or sabihin natin yung company nagiging obsolete yung product, tapos bumababa, tapos sige, you're averaging down because feeling mo ayaw mong tanggapin na may problema talaga. But this time around, I think that's the right strategy because the problems that the market in general um, are encountering is short term in nature. um, Things will get better definitely going forward, and valuations are now ridiculously cheap. So very rare, as I've showed you a while ago, in the past 10 years never naging 9 times PE ang market.
Mm-hmm.
So very very cheap, very rare itong pagkakataon na to. So I think okay yun. Buy slowly, buy a little bit at a time, because we don't know if prices can still go down, but definitely averaging down during these times is good.
Okay. We have a question here from Mr. Frank Gan. Hi, April. What's the best risk reward blue chip? What's the,
Ah,
yeah.
well, it depends, but for us, for example, you may want to consider buying some stocks that will be relatively resilient to the ongoing coronavirus crisis. So ano ba yung mga kumpanyang yan? It could be the telcos. Kasi since we're all working from home, you will notice that we use more telco services, di ba? And not to mention, they provide cash dividends, di ba? 5-6% cash dividends. And then another would be some consumer stocks that are non-discretionary. You would have the likes of, say, URC, 'di ba? Instant noodles and 3-in-1 coffee, 'di ba? Yan. Alam naman natin may hoarding na nangyayari sa groceries. Then of course, you have your Pure Gold, na malakas yung benta kasi yun lang mapuntahan ng tao, and 'di ba, they need to hoard stuff, buy groceries because of the fear. So we have those, and finally maybe you can buy some power companies. Although sinabi na nila medyo humina yung power demand, but that said, it's not gonna dry up completely. So maybe you can prioritize these stocks because at least they will be relatively resilient to what's going on. And then maybe after they go up, you can rotate to the other stocks which are more sensitive to COVID, no?
Okay. We have another question from Mr. Michael Lim. Given this current situation, do you believe that most companies will not give dividends this year? Yan, mukhang
Well,
tatamaan ba
it's
yung
hard.
earnings so much that they won't declare dividends?
Baka next year sila hindi magbigay kasi usually what companies will do is pay cash dividends based on last year's earnings.
Mm-hmm.
And that said, also a lot of companies actually will have holding companies that rely on these cash dividends. So they will jeopardize their parent company if they don't pay out cash dividends. So I think magbibigay din sila. It's more of next year medyo mas nakakatakot, baka hindi sila magbigay. But this year I think they will give.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ito ma'am, another question from one of our customers. Is it okay to sell some stocks at this point, given that I've lost already so much, in order to buy more blue chip? Parang okay ba mag-shift into more blue chip stocks?
Ah, I guess pwede rin. I guess if you're going to sell to buy, parang switching. Switching, okay. Pero kung sabihin natin, timing, that part I don't know. Hindi kasi ako expert sa technicals eh. Kasi
Oo.
baka, 'di ba, mag-rally. Siguro pag nag-rally, pwede. Pero I don't know.
Okay,
Pag
so when
switching,
you
I think that's
Mhm,
okay.
mhm, mhm. So when you say switching, you're really changing the percentage of your portfolio as a strategy, no? So
Yeah,
medyo
yeah.
mas permanent basis 'yun kaysa yung magta-time ka
Mm-mm.
lang
Mm-mm.
pagbagsak. Okay, ito medyo quite um, pessimistic. Do we expect some of the listed companies to fold up?
Ah,
Hindi naman siguro,
sa
sana naman
sa
hindi.
ngayon, well, that's what we're looking at right now. Mukhang hindi naman. Kasi unlike during the time of not even the global financial crisis. Remember during the global financial crisis, 1 year tayong bumaba pero nag-rebound agad tayo the next year because uh, you know, given our lack of sophistication, we weren't buying those junk bonds, no? Tsaka doon sa mga complicated financial products that were available there, yung mga, di ba, yung alphabet soup of mga financial products, no? We weren't
Mm-hmm.
that sophisticated. And aside from that, we were just recovering from the Asian financial crisis. I think to this day, the companies are still very much worried. So ito na lang
Mm-hmm.
ang isipin nyo. Nung Asian financial crisis, a lot of people were borrowing US dollar in US dollar because the interest rates were low and the Philippine peso debts were double digit. So, babaro silang US dollar. So, nung nag-weaken yung dollar, bumaba yung value ng mga assets na pinamili nila, sabay nag-depreciate yung peso. So, patay talaga. But this time
Mm-hmm.
around, yeah, maybe dahil sa COVID-19, let's say if you're in the hospitality business, umutang ka, nagtayo ka ng hotel, patay ka, 'di ba? But um that said, 'di ba, tingnan niyo yung sinabi ni BSP yesterday. They didn't just cut rates. They said we will be more what do you call this? Permissive or lenient on the single borrower's limit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Pati yung mga ibang mga requirements, yung mga, sige, pabayaan namin, di ka muna makabayad for the next 2 months. Yung gano'n. Because they understand, alam nyo naman, di ba, minsan, parang, you just have some bad times, but doesn't mean that your business is permanently hit or going to be negatively affected. So, that's very good. So, I think the chances of becoming bankrupt is very small. But of course, our base case scenario is that COVID-19 will last only up to the first half of the year. So, dapat they will be able to recover na by the second half.
Okay. Uh, so, ma'am, we have a question. So, is the Golden Cross Day for the Philippines be a good indicator to start accumulating positions in the stock market? Yan.
Okay, I think
Aantayin
if
ba namin
the
yun or
nako, sana mura pa rin. Yun ang
okay.
worry natin eh. Kasi, well, there's still a chance that it will be cheap. Maybe the most important Golden Cross Day is going to be for the whole world. Because people are so fixated naman on the US eh. Kasi di ba yesterday we were talking about how, for example, China and Korea are still being sold off right now, notwithstanding their Golden Cross days and the green shoots of recovery, etc. Kasi nga all eyes are still on the US and they're still right now suffering from liquidity problems. Pero when the time comes, kasi yung Philippines, uh, the exponential growth of infections happen more or less in line with the other countries. So baka sabay-sabay rin tayong mag-Golden Cross eh. So I don't know
Mhm.
if we will have the opportunity to wait for that day, which is why we're saying, maybe you should start buying a little bit right now. Konti-konti lang naman, pero siguro by the time na mag-Golden Cross yan, kung hindi pa natatapos yung buy orders nyo, medyo lakihan nyo na yung pagbibili nyo kasi it could mean that prices are soon going to go up.
Mhm. Ito, April, you've mentioned kanina yung telco or power being least affected. Ano naman yung mga ay sorry, nasagot na pala to. Oh, sorry. Which ones are going to be the worst hit by COVID-19? Ng mga
Marami,
sectors
marami
natin.
sila. Siyempre yung tourism talagang zero, 'di ba?
Mm, that's right.
Tourism and maybe even the properties because the malls are closed. And then of course they can't collect rent and then they can't sell mga residential projects. And even the banks actually were thinking could be affected. Pero kasi for them it's more like uh, neutral to negative eh. Kasi negative in the sense that um, of course there will be some borrowers who cannot pay, no? So they might have to set aside provisions and we don't know what type of papers they own. They might have some mark to market losses. So it's more of that for the banks, and of course you have the retailers na focused on discretionary items like mga damit, mga sapatos, mga whatever. Of course, those will be hit because wala namang bibili nun ngayon, 'di ba? Ang gusto ng tao grocery. So I think those are the sectors that will be more sensitive, and maybe even the ports, 'di ba? Trading between countries right now, medyo wala masyadong trading nangyayari. So that would also be negatively affected.
Okay. Ito, one other question from our customer is, would you advise being selective in or investing in individual stocks or just buy an index fund instead?
Well, it really depends. Actually, in general, my bias is index fund. Kasi usually, pag retail investor tayo, we don't really have a lot naman of money, 'di ba? So, that said, para immediately diversified, bili na lang tayo ng index fund. And then maybe if there you like some stocks pero they're only one or two or three, magandang 80% naka-index, and then the balance of 20 you buy your other two or three favorite stocks. At least medyo diversified tayo.
Mhm. Okay. There's another question. Will there are we expecting any revaluation or revision of the fair values of the stock picks given the current market conditions? April.
Yeah, we will have to revalue it. But the problem is right now, I mean, how can we determine a good fair value when we don't even know what um, how bad things can be? But definitely, uh, I don't think they will go up to the prices which we forecast them to go up. You know.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. There's a question about REITs. So April, what are your thoughts about REITs given the hit on the property sector?
It still depends because, like, even if you think about it, yung malls, well, probably you won't see foot traffic. Plus, of course, they have to give mga, what do you call that? They don't collect rent for 1 to 2 months. Eh, malamang next year, okay na rin naman yan eh. I think it's more of a delay rather than a permanent negative impact for, let's say, malls and other landlords. So sa totoo lang, no, I've been an analyst for more than 20 years, and this is the first time, if ever, SM Prime will have a lower earnings on a year-on-year basis. Kasi talagang, kung isipin mo, yung mall na yan, super resilient yan. Kahit anong mangyari, pupunta pa rin ang tao sa mall, di ba, gagastos pa rin ng pera. So if ever, it's a short-term issue. If ever people wanna do a REITs and they're gonna put say yung mga mall assets, it will probably be a 1 year weakness. But next year, probably okay again. Unless, of course, we have another pandemic happening, no? So yun, maybe short term, it's a problem, but long term, hindi. But then, I just want to highlight, when you buy REITs, it's not also perfect. May mga pangyayaring tulad ganito na pwedeng bumaba yung income na matanggap ninyo. So it's not a risk-free product. There's also some risk. But then again, I think it's for this time around, it's a short-term issue naman. Long term, it's still okay.
Hmm. Pero April, in terms of consumer spending, hindi ba may bawi yan? I mean, lahat tayo naka-hooked up in our homes. Then pag okay na mag-mall, magmo-mall tayo lahat at kakain tayo sa labas lahat.
Oh, may pent-up demand.
Pent
Sana
up
nga
demand.
eh. Ang problema kasi, okay, let's go to the SARS example. Kasi
Mhm.
analyst na ako noon, by the way, nung nagka-SARS. So
Mhm.
talagang naalala ko rin yung mga Pinoy friends ko noon na who were based in Hong Kong. Talagang takot na takot din sila. Tapos yung mga Hong Kong stocks, the valuation similar to what we're seeing today. Ganito rin kadikdik. And then what happened was, okay, when SARS was finally over, What China did was at that point in time, kasi the Chinese at that point weren't allowed to travel overseas yet.
Mm-hmm.
But because of SARS, ang ginawa ng government of China, they did a stimulus package where they allowed uh, mainland Chinese, to travel to Hong Kong a lot more often. And then the prices of Hong Kong stocks went up through the roof. As in, sobra, grabe. Hindi natin alam kung this time around, ganun din yung effect. Parang pent-up demand. Biglang, sige, akyat na.
Mm-hmm.
Or the governments will do a stimulus package similar to what they did during SARS. So, hindi natin alam. Let's see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Ito, there's a question because there's a lot of talk that a vaccine is under development. So do you think that a vaccine will cause the market to, you know, rally back up?
Hopefully,
In,
hopefully. But of course, we don't know kung totoo ba yan.
mm-hmm.
'Di ba?
That's right. Oo nga. Next question, ma'am, is it okay to buy bank stocks during this time?
Um, I think, okay, as I've said a while ago, the global financial crisis, during that time, there was a systemic risk kasi yung, for example, 'di ba, ano nga ba yung palabas na yon? Yung The Big Short.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Remember that scene where si fund manager, I don't even remember his name, he went to a stripper bar and
Mm-hmm.
he was interviewing the stripper and the stripper said, "Oh, I have 2 loans or 3 loans." Yung mga ganon, "I have my second home,
Mm-hmm.
third home." Wala tayo, wala tayong ganyan ngayon na
Mm-hmm.
nangyayari na the banks, because they could borrow derivative products and somebody was willing to insure them and the insurance company had somebody willing to insure them. Nagpautang ng nagpautang. Wala tayong ganun.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, anecdotally, pag pumunta ka sa bangko, subukan mong umutang, ang hirap-hirap dudugo yung ilong mo. Ang hirap talagang umutang. So, that said, I don't think we'll have the same problem or bankruptcy, systemic risk. And in fact, during the start of the year, we're talking about how positive we are about the Philippine economy. That really doesn't change. I mean, it's going to continue once everything seems all right. People can start working again. The tourists can come back in. I think they will come back in. The government will still do the build program, and jobs are going to be plentiful again. So I think okay naman. So yung risk na yung banks magkaroon ng massive NPL similar to the global financial crisis overseas, not here. I don't think that's going to be a problem. So if you want to buy banks right now, I don't see an issue. Definitely, it's an opportunity to buy them at a very cheap price right now.
Ito, April, I, I I guess one of the stocks that we really love, yung
Mm.
MPI.
Mm.
Ano? There's a question about MPI. Is it a good stock to invest in since they are into healthcare?
Nako, ang problema, eto lang gusto ko lang sabihin, yung healthcare niyan, super small share na lang yan Hindi, it's not as much as it used to be because remember, they sold it already.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of a utility company at this point. But secondly, the stock is really so cheap. So I'm not telling you to sell it, but if you're buying it for the healthcare, it's not a healthcare play anymore at this point.
Okay. Okay. Ito ma'am, there's a question. If we are going to do peso cost averaging, what would be the time horizon we would be looking at?
Uh,
Um,
I guess the question means peso cost averaging for this crisis,
yes,
no?
during this
Not
crisis lang.
uh,
Siyempre long
mm,
term yan, di ba? Mm.
so siguro timingin natin hanggang mga June or July, no?
Mhm,
March,
mhm.
April, May, June. 4 or 5 months maybe, even 6. Kasi pwede naman, you could do like a 6-month program. But then I think pwede nating i-combine yan with technical analysis eh. Kasi Juanes will indicate when the technical signals are showing that we are going to see a reversal. Whatever has not yet been deployed, you can deploy during that time. So maybe you could initially target, say, a 6 month uh, peso cost averaging. Then, kung sabi natin, mas mabilis yung recovery, then you can deploy it already. Kung sabi natin, nagka-recovery na sa June or nagka-recovery na sa May, then you
Mhm,
can
mhm.
deploy whatever's left when the technical signals become bullish already.
Okay. Ito, we're talking, nabanggit mo ma'am yung ating technical indicators for recovery. Meron ba tayong tall tale signs of a market bottom sa fundamentals?
Fundamentals, ayun
Meron
nga,
ba
parang, I guess,
such a thing? Mm.
'pag sinabi ng gobyerno, hindi, 'di ba yun nga yung Golden Cross Day nga eh.
Mhm,
That's one
mhm.
of the
Okay.
things na pababa na yung mga new cases relative to recoveries. And then, aside from that, the government slowly lift the quarantines or yun na nga, magkaroon tayo ng mga more testing kits, vaccines, yung mga ganon.
Mm.
So yeah, I think those are
Oh. And final question. Kanina April, you mentioned that for companies like JFC, mga big companies, mga blue chips natin, it's okay to cost average. But what about dun sa not as big? Like client here is asking about SSI, FLI, and Max. You
ah
know,
you
they've been hit
know
hard. Yeah.
yeah, I know they've been hit hard, but that said kasi usually, okay, what's happening, what happens kasi, there's a rotation. Usually, during times like this, when everything's cheap, mangyayari, yung mga fund managers, when they start buying, they will focus on blue chips muna. So, mangyayari, when the market goes up, mauuna rin si blue chip. Ngayon, kaya in-advise
Mm,
namin blue chip. Buy na lang blue chips and then afterwards, once you lock in your gains, you can switch to your small caps. Usually may ganong rotation eh. Blue chips muna, tapos pag naging mahal si blue chip, lipat sa second liners. After mag second liners, then they go to the third liners or the small
mhm.
caps.
All right. Thank you very much, April. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for asking these beautiful questions. We'll please allow us around 24 hours to respond to all these, and we'll make sure that they are available for your consumption later on. Thank you very much, April, and thank you
Okay, thank
everyone
you.
for the Q&A portion. Again, if you need any guidance or assistance, we're very much happy to help. Just send us an email through helpdesk@colfinancial.com. For COL Premium customers, you can also reach your client experience managers. And if you don't know who your CM is, you can just click the Need Help button on your COL account and you can get in touch with them through email and their mobile numbers because currently they're all in a home working arrangement. You can also try to engage us in our social media platform. We have our avatars there who are most happy to answer your questions. Plus, please take note that the COL Premium official is exclusive to COL Premium customers. Now, I'd like to also do a short plug of our new tool that I think we're offering to all our customers. It's COL Advantage. So um, you can get the latest information on the stocks that you follow. What I personally love in COL Advantage is the stoplight system where you can see the value, momentum, and sentiment rating of a company. Kanina may tinanong sa atin about JFC ito. If I may just share my screen also. In Sewell Advantage, you have this very nice security view, which you can search on the top. For instance, kanina may nagtanong, what is the valuation of JFC? Then you can just type here JFC, then you will be transported here. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyong VMS indicator value momentum sentiment for JFC. And at the bottom, we also have a short tool there called the value range. So unlike April, I think what April uses is the 10-year average, but this tool particularly uses the 5-year average lang. So if the average of JFC in terms of PE is 41.08, I think the actual based on the most recent uh, uh, in investment guide is 29.8. So it's more than two standard deviations below. So there are a lot of tools there. I invite you guys to explore it, register now for your account, and just let us know that you're a premium customer. Unfortunately, this system is not connected to our main website, so you have to chat with us and tell us the name that you used to your COL financial account. Okay? And also don't forget to, okay na po. Also don't forget to um, subscribe to our YouTube page for some educational and investment videos, and also to view a recap of what just happened. And after this, guys, I would like to also ask for your participation on a 2-minute survey that we will send after this webinar to help us improve on our future online seminars. Okay, and we look forward to reading your valuable feedback. All right, so with that, again, thank you very much. To exit the session, please i-X nyo na lang yung button, and we'll see you soon on the next episode. Thank you.